Welcome to my channel. Please enjoy the video. Hello guys. So like I promised you guys, I was going to bring commentary debunking the allegations or the statement that Jaguar Wright put out about Aaliyah. Now, as you guys know, Jaguar Wright was kicked out of the elite, out of Hollywood, allegedly. And she began to surface on the internet, speaking about different celebrities and saying all this stuff about different celebrities. I'm not saying that those things were not true, but we're speaking strictly on Aaliyah. Now, guys, pay attention to the details. When Jaguar Wright came out and she started slandering other celebrity co-workers, ex-co-workers, she seemed very angry. Okay, but one touchy subject that she touched on was my baby girl, Aaliyah. Okay, so I'm going to debunk and not state that everything that I believe or my opinions about what she said about Aaliyah was not true. However, if somebody comes out and they have firsthand knowledge about something, and there's no doubt about it, Jaguar has been on the scene since 2003. However, that does not make her know everybody's business, especially Aaliyah. Very touchy subject. So Jaguar Wright came out and claimed she knew how Aaliyah passed away, and she made statements about Aaliyah. If you guys can see, Jaguar Wright stated things about Barry Hankerson. Let's not blame Barry Hankerson. So if you have firsthand knowledge about something, you're not going to side with the public about what the public already thinks if you know exactly what took place and what went on with Aaliyah. However, I want you guys to listen to something that Jaguar stated. She said this in her own words. So I can allege this, and you guys cannot downplay me for exposing what Jaguar said. So I want you to listen closely, and I'll come back.
So I just wanted to jump on right quick to say something about the last video that I posted from Extended Stay America. See, sometimes I just put things out to see what people will say. I don't frame them or try to give you context so you can see it from my point of view, which is why I document everything the way that I do.
So she says that she does not put out context. She does not give context or frame anything to make people think or see things from her point of view. Now, a context meaning circumstances forming a background or event or an idea or any statement. And she made that statement about she knows what happened to Aaliyah. Like she just knows everything that went on with Aaliyah. Okay? This is how she brought it to social media. Okay? So she says that she does not do that. And that's exactly what she did when she spoke about Aaliyah. Because if you guys can see, she went on talking about Aaliyah and R. Kelly. Then she came out and said, let's not blame Barry Hankerson. That's not telling us something that you supposedly have firsthand knowledge of. If you have firsthand knowledge of something, she's going to lay it all out. But she didn't. And then she stated that that's not her story to tell. So if you had information and it's not your story to tell, Jaguar, then you should have just kept quiet and not said anything. But you began to talk like you knew something, but you didn't. So see, guys, the point I'm trying to make is Jaguar Wright said of her own mouth that she do not give context and try to frame anything for somebody to understand it from her point of view. So giving context, it's like sort of like giving information that will help to make sense of something. And what she tried to do, because she claimed that somebody called Aaliyah and told them that Dame Dash was in a fatal accident. And then she just talking in circles, talking about R. Kelly, how he did terrible things to Aaliyah, and don't blame Barry Hankerson. So in my opinion, guys, Jaguar Wright was trying to give us additional information that she thought would help make sense of the situation, which she knew nothing about. So she stated that she do not give context and try to frame anything. And in my opinion, that's what she did, or that's what she was attempting to do when she began speaking about Aaliyah and other celebrities. But we're talking about Aaliyah. So at the time, a lot of us had our ears open and we wanted to know because we assumed that Jaguar knew what really happened to Aaliyah. And this is the way she presented it, like she knew exactly what happened to Aaliyah, from the R. Kelly situation to the plane crash situation. So Jaguar Wright herself stated that she do not give context or frame anything, and that is totally false. That is what she was attempting to try to do. And like she stated, sometimes she just puts things out, and that's very disingenuous, Jaguar. So Jaguar Wright stated that there are a lot of people in Hollywood that would not be who they are today if Aaliyah did not pass away. This is what she stated.
Aaliyah. As much as I desperately want to talk about Aaliyah, I cannot. I wish I could. I wish it were my story to tell. We all know what happened in the beginning. We just don't know why it ended the way it ended. I know a lot of people, they got a whole lot of mixed emotions about Dame Dash. Say whatever you want to say about that man. That man loved that woman. I just want the world to know how much she was loved before she was taken away from everyone.
So Jaguar Wright spoke about other celebrities and told some deep, juicy stuff that we didn't know. Such as P. Diddy receiving oral sex from one of his artists, talking about Foxy Brown, talking about Mary J. Blige. But she wanted to bring bits and pieces about Aaliyah and mention Barry Hankerson, but said that she cannot talk about it. But what really got me is that she says that she does not give context about things and she does not try to frame anything up to make people believe or look at it how she perceives it. So why even speak about Aaliyah if you're not going to tell everything that you know, but you're speaking about other celebrities, telling all the tea and spilling all the tea on these celebrities. But when it came to Aaliyah, she got really hushy. She was speaking around in circles, and it was Dame Dash, and she said a little bit about R. Kelly. Don't blame Barry Hankerson, but she did not get into specifics with Aaliyah like she did the other celebrities. Now, Jaguar said as much as she wants to talk about Aaliyah, she cannot. She said, quote, "I wish I could. I wish it was my story to tell. But you told the world that Mary J. Blige had a girlfriend and Mary J. Blige was bisexual, allegedly. This is what Jaguar Wright stated. You claimed that Christopher Williams was giving P. Diddy head in the studio. Okay?" But she wishes that Aaliyah's story was her story to tell. But she spewed everybody else's stories out, and it was their story to tell if they wanted it to be told. But she decided to tell their story. P. Diddy, Christopher Williams, Mary J. Blige. Then she went on to state that people have mixed emotions about Dame Dash, and people can say what they want because Dame Dash loved Aaliyah. Now, how would Jaguar Wright know that? Like, sincerely, the way she said it. However, in words, guys, Jaguar Wright did admit that R. Kelly did some awful things to Aaliyah and to Aaliyah's family as well. Then she goes on to say that a lot of people want to blame things on Barry Hankerson and Aaliyah's family. Then she goes on to say the truth is, it's the music industry. We all know what the music industry holds and what goes on in the music industry. But we also know that Aaliyah's mother told her at the age of 10 that she had sex appeal when she was snapping pictures of her 10-year-old daughter, getting ready to take her to these auditions in Hollywood. Okay? And this was public. And Jaguar Wright, since she claims that she knows everything about what's going on in Hollywood, she should have known that Diane made this statement. She should have seen the interview when Aaliyah said that her mother told her she had sex appeal and she was hot at the age of 10. That's what Aaliyah said. I was hot. I had it at the age of 10. Honey, Jaguar went on to say that she don't want to frame nothing that would frame her family in a negative light. When her family put her into Hollywood themselves. Okay? So Jaguar Wright is speaking out against Hollywood, and she's saying that Hollywood allegedly did this to Aaliyah. Guys, put it down in the comment section.
Everything he did to her. Everything he did to that family. You know, I know a lot of people want to blame it all on Barry Hankerson and blame it on the family, but the truth is, the music industry is a very confusing place, and sometimes things happen without people knowing. There are people that are actively working to keep people in the dark, actively working to constantly change stories, change reality, change everything, and they can do it all with a press release. Just reality, change everything, and they can do it all with a press release, just a press release. So I don't want to say anything that would frame her family in a negative light. I don't, because I don't think I can honestly say I believe they had no idea until it was.
And now if you guys can hear Jaguar Wright saying that she can honestly say they had no idea and she does not want to frame her family. But nobody said that you had to frame her family, Jaguar. And you said that you believe that the family didn't know anything about it. You are lying and you know it. And that's why you're saying you can't speak on it and it's not your story to tell.
Working in the studio, the first couple of sessions, the brother comes, parents come, everything seems fine, you know, then we're going to be working late, we really got to finish the song, somebody will drive y'all home, I promise she'll be home right after, and she do come home right after, but nobody asked what happened to her in the car or on the way home, or what happened as soon as they left the studio, like, you know what I mean, like, people, y'all don't understand, like, the tactful nature, the tactical nature in which this sex trafficking and this child abuse, y'all don't understand, like, these people go heavy, man. They go heavy. They'll have the assistant sitting in the kitchen with the mom while they molesting the child in the bathroom, talking about, yeah, we going over music, or yeah, we're practicing a script, or yeah, we need time alone with the child. Like, these niggas is that brazen that they will rape your child while you in the house having expensive coffee and eating crumpets and shit. And your child bleeding out the ass, and they're sitting there saying, don't say anything because your mother really needs this money. And if your mother don't get this money, y'all gonna be out on the streets. You need to be a good boy or be a good girl. And don't say anything because your mom's gonna go to the cops, and if she does that, we're gonna have her killed. What the fuck is a 9-year-old child supposed to do with that kind of explosive information? Like I said, it's not my story to tell. But it should be told by her brother or by Dave. Y'all need to know how amazing she really was. Y'all need to know what she really overcame.
Now, Jaguar Wright just said that Aaliyah's brother or Dame Dash needs to come forward and tell her story. But then Jaguar Wright just said that the family didn't know. So how would her brother come forward and tell her story about something that he didn't know, he had no knowledge of? I'm sure Aaliyah explained to Dame Dash what happened. But Jaguar Wright just stated, guys, that Aaliyah's family did not know what was going on between her and R. Kelly. You see how she started dancing around. But she didn't dance around any other allegations that she made about any other celebrity. Only Aaliyah. And she said that Aaliyah's family had no knowledge. Didn't know. So what is Aaliyah's brother supposed to come out and what story is he supposed to tell about his sister, that he had no knowledge of. And you see, guys, she started speaking about sex trafficking. She mentioned that. Now, why is Jaguar Wright mentioning sex trafficking if R. Kelly took advantage of Aaliyah and her family knew nothing about it? Let's go into the meaning of the word sex trafficking. Okay, so we're going to speak about a child being sex trafficked, okay? So basically bartering their child or giving their child to someone for sex, for any type of sexual favors, for photographs or videos of their children of a sexual nature in order to get money in return or either drugs in return. And that's just an example of sex trafficking. So why would Jaguar Wright bring up sex trafficking? If a man is molesting a child, it's called child molestation, Jaguar, not sex trafficking. So a sex trafficking should not have came up in Aaliyah's story that Jaguar Wright put out on the social media. Okay? But however, sex trafficking came out. She didn't say anything about child molestation or rape or somebody taking advantage of someone's children, but she did make a statement saying something about getting in the car, what happened in the studio, on her way home from the studio. These things did come up in her conversation or her statement that she made, but what really jumped my brain, made my brain twitch, was that she stated something about sex trafficking. But you said that the family didn't know, and don't blame Barry Hankerson.
The strength that came behind all of that sweetness and all of that grace. And she was tough. Survived the stuff that she survived, she was tough.
Jaguar goes on to say that Aaliyah was tough to survive the things that she survived. Okay, sounds like Jaguar has a lot of knowledge about what went on with Aaliyah. How come her parents didn't? Once again, guys, Diane claims that she was with Aaliyah throughout her whole entire career. Jaguar Wright just confirmed what we all already knew. Diane Hunt and Barry Hankerson knew what was going on with R. Kelly and Aaliyah. And see, guys, this is the point I'm trying to make. When Aaliyah turned 22, 21, and she was with Dame Dash or whoever, that's okay. But her being 12 years old and being introduced to R. Kelly, and all of these things have surfaced about what happened to her, what she endured, what she was around, I find it very hard to believe. The same man that introduced her to R. Kelly didn't see any of this, and her mother didn't, but her mother first put her out there before we knew anything about Aaliyah and R. Kelly having any contact. When she was 10 years old, Aaliyah said this out of her mouth, guys. And like I said, children are raised in these different homes by their parents, and they're raised to believe certain things are normal. So when Aaliyah made the statement that she was 10 years old and her mother told her she had sex appeal, Aaliyah thought that that was normal. But it's not normal, guys. And no mother should be saying this to their 10-year-old daughter, especially trying to put her into Hollywood. Come on now. I just want to know why everyone is covering for Aaliyah's mother, her father, and Barry Hankerson. Why? Because that's exactly what Jaguar Wright was doing. She was trying to undermine the facts.
Mom, while they molesting a child in the bathroom, talking about, yeah, we going over music, or yeah, we're practicing a script, or yeah, we need time alone with the child. Like, these niggas is that brazen that they will rape your child while you in the house having expensive coffee and eating crumpets and shit. And your child bleeding out the ass and they're sitting there saying, don't say anything because your mother really needs this money. And if your mother don't get this money, y'all gonna be out on the streets. Money. And if your mother don't get this money, y'all gonna be out on the streets. You need to be a good boy or be a good girl and don't say anything because your mom's gonna go to the cops, and if she does that, we're gonna have her killed. Fuck is a 9-year-old child with that kind of explosive information?
Now that little statement that Jaguar just made, and then at the end, that was very important that she said that. She said, what kind of child, what is that child supposed to do with that type of information? Someone telling the child that we have to do this, or your mom's going to be homeless out on the street, you need this money, and if you say something, we're going to kill your mom. Jaguar, what type of what was Aaliyah supposed to have deal with the information at 10 years old? And she remembered that her mother told her she had sex appeal. Okay? And guys, if you don't know the meaning of the word sex appeal, look it up or look at my other video, because I broke that down. And this is what Aaliyah's mother told her at 10 years old. So Jaguar, you can save that, okay?
Like I said, it's not my story to tell, but it should be told. Like I said, it's not my story to tell, but it should be told by her brother or by Dave.
She says that it's not her story to tell, but you're telling everybody else's damn business, Jaguar. Come on now. Then she says that maybe the story needs to be told by her brother or Dame Dash. Why didn't she say the story needs to be told by Diane Horton, her mother? Or her father? Or Barry Hankerson? What about the parent, Jaguar? The parent. If y'all can see, Diane Horton's name, Barry Hankerson's name never came out of her mouth when she made this statement. We're talking about an adult. You would think if a mother didn't know and this happened to her child, she would be appalled and come out and tell the public about this and be outraged. But her brother needs to tell her story, Jaguar.
Survived the stuff that she survived, she was tough. And nobody knows the real story.
So nobody knows the real story, Jaguar. So why are you telling stories about every other celebrity? And this was the most serious story because she was a child at the time. See, everybody's looking at the rock the boat Aaliyah. Nobody's looking at the little girl Aaliyah. That little 12-year-old baby that was introduced to R. Kelly. And nobody's looking at that 10-year-old girl who came out and told the world herself. And she thought it was normal what she was saying. That her mother told her that she had sex appeal while getting her prepped up and grooming her to put her into Hollywood to become a singer, a famous singer, in which her mother achieved that. But telling her daughter that she was hot and she had sex appeal at just the tender age of 10. Now, I'm going to hurry up, guys, because this video is going past the 20-minute mark. But I want you guys to really listen to the whole video. This is very important because Jaguar Wright is defending, in my opinion, the exploitation by Aaliyah's parents and Barry Hankerson.
Stuff that she survived, she was tough. And nobody knows the real story. Yeah. Aaliyah's untimely demise changed a lot in my mind. I was angry at first.
And guys, I don't want to make this video too long. So in my opinion, if you guys want to go and check out Jaguar Wright speaking about Aaliyah, she never mentioned Aaliyah's mother or her father. Her story needs to be told by her brother. Well, let's hope one day he'll come out and tell the whole truth about how allegedly his mother sold his daughter to R. Kelly. That's just my opinion, guys. Jaguar Wright never stated any condolences to Aaliyah's mother, and that her mother had to be hurt from her child being taken advantage of. Or was she herself taking advantage of her child, and Jaguar Wright didn't want to put that out? However, if you listen closely to the things that Jaguar Wright is stating, and she does not want to speak on it, She does not want to expose Aaliyah's parents. And this is my opinion, guys. And thank you guys for watching. Jaguar Wright knows that Aaliyah was exploited into the music industry. She was sold and groomed by Diane Houghton. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell.